At first, I was super pissed. And then, I was less pissed. And now I think I'm still kind of pissed. I don't know how to feel about this, but I worry for small local game stores, as yesterday, Wizards of the Coast announced that they will be ending Wizards Direct Sales. Now, if you don't know what Wizards Direct Sales is, basically, small local game stores, or really anybody, would be able to get an allocation of product from Wizards directly, meaning if they couldn't get with a distributor, if they didn't have a distributor, or if they were out or whatever, Wizards would always have some product available to cover your allocation for the most part. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but that's the gist. This program helped make sure in the good old days when there were products like Modern Masters or from the Vault that your store could get it. It would maintain your allocation, and from what I understand, the allocation at local game stores, or going through distributors will still exist. There are problems that now arise from the ending of direct sales to local game stores. And to be clear, I completely understand why they canned it. It's probably wildly unprofitable for them to staff and ship, and I get it. The problem is it offered local game stores ones that ordered small quantities, an affordable way to get product. I believe they had like $10 flat rate shipping available, and you were able to get small top-off orders. Or if there was a product, for example, like Modern Masters, you knew you could get it at the right price from Wizards of the Coast. And that's where I see the biggest danger here. At first, I thought, oh man, they're really screwing local game stores. But then I picked up the phone and I talked to 3 of them. And most of their concerns were around not necessarily whether or not they would be able to get the product, although they were concerned because in times when there's a hot item, a product that people wanted, they could always count on Wizards of the Coast. Specifically with pre-release kits. If you have a distributor that is untrustworthy or one that doesn't get the product out in time, you run the risk of not having your product in time for pre-release. Now, if local games, or I'm sorry, if, why do I keep calling them local game stores? If distributors can prove themselves worthy to get the product out in time, that covers a lot of the big concern I got from local game store owners, specifically smaller ones. Big ones don't have a problem because they have strong relationships with distributors. They probably already use 2 or 3 of them. I'd be willing to bet that there are local game stores out there that only ever order from Wizards Direct, never had to go through a distributor. So this is going to create another barrier to entry for local game stores, and it's going to create extra stress in a space where there isn't a lot of time and money available. So in that way, I'm concerned. But the biggest reason I'm worried about it, I'll go through in a second. I want to share the article here. In an effort to maximize our most valuable resource, our employees, Wizards of the Coast will end the direct sales program on August 31st in the United States and Canada. Our goal is to free up the support team to spend more time working one-on-one with WPN members. As of today, we have stopped processing new direct sale applications, and we will stop fulfilling orders on August 31st. If you would ordinarily choose Wizards of the Coast for your pre-release product, you'll want to select another option when you schedule Guilds of Ravnica. Meanwhile, our authorized distributors stand ready to meet your needs. A few reasons they say. The program is simply what? Anachronistic? Why can't I say that word right? Old. When we launched it way back in '99, hobby distributors were wildly different. Product was often scarce. Distribution was typically handled regionally with unpredictable costs and shipping time. Wizards Direct was meant to be a stabilizing force. But today's distributors have warehouses all over the continent. They're faster and more efficient and more reliable. They're better equipped to get you the products you need when you need them. Excuse me, Colt. And finally, the program simply uses more of our resource and can be justified by the value of it. Delivers to retailers. Essentially what I said. They're not making any money for running this program. So I get it. from a business standpoint, okay. This change frees up support reps to work one-on-one with WPN members. For example, all stores will have dedicated representative. Yeah, okay. That's not really what was helping the stores. Hey, little guy. On a good note, though, they did lift and clarify the ban on alcohol. So now you can serve alcohol at WPN authorized events, which is probably good, especially if you're going to have a large group of people who didn't get their pre-release product on time because of an incompetent distributor. At least people can get drunk now. The sunsetting of direct sales brings some big changes to our support team. We're excited about it. Okay, great. One-on-one, troubleshooting, who cares? And new hours, 9 to 5, with an hour-long closing at noon. An hour lunch break? Jeez, man, it must be nice to work for one of these companies out west, I'll tell you that much. But the big concern I have, by the way, I want to touch on the alcohol thing, because they did, effective the 23rd, we've updated our policies regarding alcohol and age restrictions. WPN policies do not prohibit selling or consuming alcohol at DCI-sanctioned events, including in play spaces, and organizers may now restrict events by age. So that's nice. If you're in the older crowd like me, and you're not banned for life without the possibility of appeal, you can go and have your pre-releases at a bar. You could sell liquor if you want. If you want to have like a games cafe, you can do that. If you have your liquor license in a local game store, for some reason, you can do that. If you're hosting an event and you want to have a beer vendor, you can do that. You can have 21 and older only events. These are great things. These are good things for local game stores. Now, I want to talk about what concerns me the most about sunsetting this Wizards Direct, and that is, what effect is it going to have on price? So when the product was always available from WPN or from Wizards of the Coast directly, there was a set price. You have your Wizards price. For small local game stores, that meant, you know, $70 for boxes kind of thing, set prices for From the Vault, set prices for Modern Masters, high-end product. Now, with the removal of this regulatory, it was regulatory in nature, right? As long as Wizards had the product available, it kept the prices at distributors in line. Now, the distributors can essentially set their own prices. You know, the ACD's out of it? Okay, I'm going to raise the price of booster boxes by $5. Oh, it's Modern Masters, right? Now, if you don't have Wizards of the Coast keeping all these distributors in check, they can easily collude to raise the price of booster boxes by a few dollars, $5, $10, where there's no stabilizing force anymore to always keep the price in line. And this, of course, is very concerning because the profit margins in a local game store are very thin. They make money 3 or 4 times a year. And specifically, when there's premium product out and there's a high EV in it, that's how they make their money. You can argue whether or not this is correct, but it is the nature of things. And it concerns me when the margins will get thinner for local game stores, because at the end of the day, these are the places that most of us are able to go and play in organized events, go to F&M. And if they can't get the product, or they have to pay even more for the product, they can either pass it on to the customer, which in all reality isn't going to work very well, because you have places on eBay fire selling boxes for $80, or they're going to lose money, right? That's going to shift their margin even thinner. And I'm just not a huge fan of that. I think there's enough profit in Magic the Gathering that Wizards of the Coast should have backed this up with some price guarantees, some regulation on what the prices can be, although that is probably not going to incentivize distributors to take the risk. Remember, distributors are the ones that take all of the risk. Wizards sells the product months in advance. It's out of their hands. Distributors are the ones that have to sit on it and pay rent, and you know, with the case of one of them, sit on thousands of boxes of iconic masters that they can't sell because the market price is below what they paid for. So it's an interesting time. I guess the bigger picture is probably this is a money pit for Wizards of the Coast, which makes sense for why they terminated, but I'm concerned with what this is going to do to smaller local game stores, and I'm concerned what this is going to do to product delivery reliability, particularly with pre-releases. Let me know what you think. Is this a big deal? Is it not a big deal? I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section down below. I'm nervous that they just screwed local game stores, but I guess we'll see how it turns out.